there and welcome to this edition of Startup Central. I'm Nayanthara Rai. This is the only show of its kind on Indian television dedicated, of course, to startups, innovation, technology, disruption, entrepreneurship. Basically, if it falls under the gambit of the new economy, it's here every weekday on your favorite channel at sharp 6 p.m. Ladies and gentlemen, with that out of the way, we would just like to remind you to keep writing into us to tell us what we should be doing things differently, how we can be improving the show. If you don't tell us, who's going to tell us and how we're going to improve, right? So our email address right on top, suc@etnow.tv. Well, let's take you to the top headlines that we're tracking today on Startup Central. Here it goes. Verse Innovation, the parent company of Daily Hunt and short video app Josh, has raised another $100 million, this time from Qatar Investment Authority and Great Book financing partners. Verse had become a unicorn in December 2020 when it had raised another $100 million, and that time it was from the likes of Google and Microsoft. Rural lending startup Salvagram has raised 77 crore rupees in Series B funding round led by Elevation Capital. The round's also seen participation from existing investors like Elever Capital. Xiaomi, best known for its extremely affordable, competent smartphone, but it's getting ready for an eye-catching, quad-curving waterfall display that stretches down all four sides of the phone. Xiaomi said the process of correctly shaping the glass layers like this has involved in-house processing equipment at 800 degrees heat. The International Cricket Council has announced Byju's as their global partner from 2021 to 2023. The three-year agreement will see Byju's partner all ICC events over the period, including the upcoming 2020 World Cup in India. Reddit had spent its entire marketing budget to air a 5-second ad during the Super Bowl. Reddit issued a statement right after saying, and I quote, "One thing we learned from our communities last week is that underdogs can accomplish just about anything when they come together around a common idea. Powerful things happen when people rally around something they really care about." After weeks of speculation, Hyundai and Kia have again sought to downplay rumors that they're working with Apple for an autonomous electric car. The companies say they are no longer in talks. Right, and here's one of the big stories that we're tracking today. It's a controversy that blew up recently is between Twitter and the Modi government. The Modi government, led by the IT ministry, has taken objection to Twitter letting the hashtag on farmer genocide and the Prime Minister actually trend. What we saw after that was a notice being sent to Twitter for taking down as many as 257 accounts and URLs. Following that, we are now being told that Twitter has been sent another list, this time of over 1,000 on Twitter, which the government sees to be bots and Pakistani supporting Khalistan, spreading misinformation as far as the farmer protest goes. Our sources in the government say Twitter has still not complied with its notice, that Twitter has not yet responded, but the government wants to be reasonable, is not going to take any knee-jerk reaction. It is working with Twitter on fixing this. What is this going to mean for microblogging at large? And of course, larger questions at stake, whether the platforms should be getting into content moderation at all? Is it even possible for them to do content moderation when you've got millions and millions of people on it and tweeting every second? But that argument aside, a government that is so proud of its Atmanirbhar Bharat clarion call, is this an opportunity for, let's say, a startup like Koo? Koo, you can say, is an Indian alternative to Twitter. It, in fact, was one of the winners of the Prime Minister's Atmanirbhar App Challenge. What we've also seen over the last couple of days is some government departments like BSNL switch and be a part of Koo. Ravi Shankar Prasad has anyway been on Koo. He has a following of over 4 lakh. I'm going to be discussing this and more with Aprameya, the co-founder and CEO of Koo, who is joining us live. Thanks so much for being a part of Startup Central. Tell me, since this controversy has broken out, have you seen more people coming to Koo?
Yeah, absolutely. So our downloads have actually increased 4 to 5x from what we were getting before. So there's a lot of curiosity as to what Koo is all about and whether we're better, we have the same features, all of those things. So both curiosity as well as emotion to be on a self-reliant Atmanirbhar app is also driving people to come to Koo.
So when you tell me the downloads have increased since this entire controversy, and it's obviously an opportunity also for homegrown startups, give me an idea of how much, right? How much more traction are you seeing?
Yeah, as I said, 4 to 5x. We basically used to get in the ones of thousands of downloads every day. That's become 5x of what it was, right? So we see a lot of love for the platform. Our daily active users are growing, especially in English and Hindi, because that's where the bigger market is, which uses Koo, which uses Twitter right now. So they're all looking for alternatives, and that's driving them to come to Koo.
Have you positioned yourself as an Atmanirbhar app, as an Indian app that can be an alternative to Twitter?
Yeah, so we actually launched Koo way before the whole COVID thing happened last year, right? So it actually kind of coincided. We started working on developing the app late 2019 and launched it in March of 2020, right? So as soon as we launched, COVID hit, and it kind of coincided with the whole Atmanirbhar Bharat app campaign that the Prime Minister was doing, and it actually has helped us quite a bit. And yes, we are a made in India company. We are Indian founders. We are Atmanirbhar. We are an Atmanirbhar app.
Point was that, are you planning to maybe leverage the controversy that we're seeing, the standoff by Twitter, where it's not complying with the government order? Maybe it wants to take its time to do so. We don't know all of that. We just know there's been a notice that's been issued by the government, and that Twitter has not responded to it or taken down all the 257 accounts. Opportunity galore for Koo at the moment?
Yeah. So we've seen an opportunity irrespective of whether somebody gets banned or not, or somebody stops using the platform, because Koo was started with a very with a vision of being a localized experience, right? So typing in local language, giving more characters because it's local language, being able to say things in voice and video, ability to find somebody from your own community, whether you're a Kannadiga, Tamilian, you should be able to find Tamilians and Kannadigas easily. You should be able to talk about local things that matter to a state and trend them in your state. So these are all the things that are not being done anywhere, right? So we entered saying we will give a localized experience irrespective of any ban. Now, because of other apps getting into trouble like Twitter, is there an opportunity to accelerate and grow faster? Yes, there is, right? And as a company, we would do the right thing and make sure that people know that we exist as an alternative, and we're always there, giving a better localized experience. If you want to talk to the masses of India, go deep and talk about local issues and get a following beyond the English-speaking audience, please come to Koo.
So how many languages are you in? How many daily active users do you have today already?
So we're in English plus 8 languages, Indian languages. So all the important languages covered. So we are going to launch in more languages. We are already live in Hindi, Kannada, Telugu, Marathi, Gujarati, Bengali, Tamil, Malayalam. All of these languages are live, and we'll add more languages. In terms of, because we're such a small startup and we're growing every day, our monthly active users is a better measure right now, and we're hitting close to 1 million or more monthly active users right now, and hopefully by year end we should grow 10x at least, given the kind of opportunities that we have.
What I also noticed was that earlier this week, a couple of days ago, Koo did announce that it's raised about over $4 million. The names that came out in the public domain, where there was a Kalari Capital, Bloom Ventures, or even 314, what I found very interesting was that these are all domestic investors. Was that a conscious decision?
Well, we want to attract, as much internal capital as possible. It's very, very important to make sure that, in domains like ours, we have enough internal say and we are able to govern ourselves, given that we are registered in India. While no financial investor has a say in daily running of the business, even strategic decisions should not be influenced as much as possible by anybody else, right? So we've so far tried, and we will in the future also want to keep attracting domestic capital. Yes.
So, you've got the Karnataka Chief Minister on the platform. You have Cabinet Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad. In fact, I'm told that the IT Ministry has almost a dozen of its departments on Koo. We found out that today even BSNL, for example, has joined Koo. And I would imagine all of this is also happening because of the Twitter controversy. So once again, I come back to that. How closely are you tracking that and learning from that to make sure that an alternative doesn't suffer from the same mistakes?
Yeah, I think, we have a significant advantage because, every country's cultural nuances are different, right? When it's a local company run by local founders who are being born and brought up in this country, they, trusting them to take the right decisions given the cultural nuances is much better, right? So, I would say we won't be making such mistakes. We will be a lot more consistent, right, than what others have been, right? Saying that communal rights are being caused and banning somebody in some other country, but in India, communal rights are may be caused and banning and unbanning. So you have to be consistent, right? So we will be consistent. We will be transparent in areas where we don't know much. We will constitute panels that are from India, who know the nuances of India, and everybody gets to know why and how we're taking such calls. We will be compliant to the law of the land.
So, you were also praised, that is, Koo was praised or brought up by the Prime Minister during a Mann Ki Baat in 2020, you were also one of the winners of the Atmanirbhar App Challenge. So, so Koo did get a lot of attention, the point I'm trying to get at, in late 2020. But after being one of the winners and coming second in the Prime Minister's Challenge for Startups, what has it meant for Koo? What kind of mentorship have you received? Is it primarily from the government? Is it from investors? Did that help in that fundraising drive?
I think all this recognition through awards and the Honorable Prime Minister mentioning us, it adds a lot of credibility and at the same time, a lot of expectations are placed on us, right, to deliver. So what it really helps in is attract the right resources. Resources meaning, there are so many companies for people to work at. Should you be working at Koo instead of somewhere else? Being able to attract talent at a slightly lesser salary, giving them some amount of ESOPs gets easier, right? Attracting investment because there is so much trust placed on us gets easier. So I think all these awards and mentions really help in kind of equipping ourselves to deliver what we've dreamt of.
Okay, we'll leave it at that. Thank you so much for joining us on this edition of Startup Central. That's Koo. Think of it as an Indian alternative to Twitter. It is already in English plus 8 languages, looking at more languages. And of course, getting a lot of traction thanks to the controversy that you're seeing between Twitter and the government. We're going to take a short commercial break, but stay tuned. Coming up on the other side, it became a unicorn in December, and it's already gone in for yet a $100 million fundraise. That's coming up for you after the short break. The startup I'm talking about, the founders will be live right here.